Okay, what is up everybody, and today we're back again with another video, and we are actually going to be starting up the beginner series again. We are going to be starting with a fresh save, with a fresh game, everything completely from new, because as some of you mentioned before, the audio quality wasn't the best, the music was too loud, my editing wasn't very good, and I feel like I skipped a lot of things because I thought that a lot of people would just know that from common sense, but then I thought about it again and was like, if I would have restarted this game not knowing what I know now, I probably would have wanted somebody to tell me these things. So we're gonna be restarting. Also, I don't actually have the save files anymore, so that's kind of my fault. But if you are just looking for something really specific and don't want to actually look through a whole series because you've already played the game a little bit and are just curious or unsure about some things, check out my beginner series kind of playlist on the channel where I have videos that talk about like the different skill sets, perks, and stuff like that. Just make sure to look at that, and if you don't find what you have on there, make sure to comment down in one of my videos what you want to see video and I'll try to make a video on it in 1 or 2 days, maybe a little bit longer depending on how well I know the topic. But with that being said, let's jump into this video. We are going to be starting a new game. I of course backed up my old save files and everything, so that all should be good. But let's go ahead and start a new game. For all of you guys out there who don't know, all you have to do if you start new is just new game like I did. Then here you go, you can choose if you want to be a male or female. Then you can choose the different options of characters. There's not really a lot of difference, so let's just stick with option 1. You can, if you don't have any of the actual other reserves, you can choose between Hirschfelden or Leighton Lake. I personally prefer Leighton Lake just because it's a little bit more beginner friendly, but let's go ahead and start. This is actually going to be the only time I'm going to roll the audio afterwards. I'm going to turn it off real quick just because I kind of want to continue commentating and not have the person in the background just interrupt me. So let's just start this playing. I'll roll the clip and then I'll be right back.
You made it here in one piece. Welcome to the untamed wild. Name's Colton Locke, but everyone calls me Doc. I'm the warden up here, and I know just about every nook and cranny of this place. I heard this is your first time in the Pacific Northwest and Lake District. Well, this here's the best hunting reserve you'll find in 100 miles. I've been hunting here my whole life, and I still don't get tired of this place.
So like I said, let me just quickly turn that audio off because I don't actually want that in the background. But here you go, this is where you're going to be starting off on Leighton Lake in this little part down here. These icons right here, these are lookout towers. These, if you go this, they'll scan an area around and show you where outposts are and potential points of interest. We'll be going to that in just a second, but let's start by going through this over here. So up here, if you press escape or start, depending on if you're on console, you have your map up here, which we're on right now. Then below that, you'll have your mission log where you can see all the missions unless you turn them off. Then you have your inventory. We're going to go through this in a little bit more detail later on, but after that, you're going to have your skills, which we are going to be unlocking as we level up. The same with perks. You're always going to alternate in getting perks and skill points, and then I think at level 35 or 36, something like that, you only get one every second level. But we'll go through all that as the series progresses. Here you have your codex, where you can kind of find out all the details and your points of interests. You'll find all of that stuff in your codex. Down here, you can select your trophy lodges. These are still from my main account, but yeah, you would have none here unless you purchase the DLC. And then down here you have the Hunt Club Beta, which is kind of a mission system where you can get some cash and some XP throughout, but it is a little bit bugged, so try it out at your own risk. If you do keep crashing, then that can happen. Now let's continue though. Here are your settings. Obviously you can go through these and what you can find, but the most important one that I want to go through is the active track color. I would change that from the blue that it is to something that you can see better. I personally like to go with electric violet or with the torch red, just because I feel like you can see that a lot better, and it's a color that's going to stand out. So if you're tracking an animal, you can just find a lot better. Now, coming back to the inventory, I personally like to have my inventory set up so that I have my binoculars on 2 and the gun that I'm going to be using most on slot number 3. Later on, I will have it so that the gun for the bigger game is going to be in slot 1, the medium gun in slot 4 or 3, and then the lowest gun in slot 4. But as we currently only have the Focus 357, the Ranger 243, and the Caversham Stewart 12 gauge, we are just going to be having it like this, and the main gun that we're using obviously is going to be the 243. Now, on PC, with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 0, you can actually just go through here and select which item slot you want to use without having to scroll with the mouse pad. On console, if you press the D-pad once up and then go to the left or the right, you can actually see what you want to select. And let's actually start, because you get a free kill straight away. Right in front of us here, we can see that there's a white-tailed deer female standing right over there. We don't know the range. We can, however, find that out if we go on the map. We can hover above that, and then in the bottom right hand corner we can see that it's around 64 to 65 meters away. So let's aim at this deer. We don't have any range finding right now, but let's just kind of aim there, and that will bring her down. If you want to know if you brought an animal down, you can go on the map, and if hunting pressure comes up like this, you will know that you have successfully killed the animal. It's not going to be where you killed the animal, but it's going to be where you first shot it, not where it died. But here we get to have a look at the first time at looking tracks. There are different blood stains. There's a vital organ hit, which is this. There's a medium, low, and I think there's a flesh hit. I think there's a difference between the lowest two, but this is definitely the one that you always want to see. And if you press on it, you will get a vital organ hit that comes up in the top right hand corner. And there are basically 3 to 4 different tracks. You'll have the blood track, you'll have kind of the droppings track, you'll have the actual running track, then you'll have need zones tracks like this one over here, which is going to show us a feed zone. So white-tailed jackrabbits, they actually feed there from 5 to 11:30, but let's not lose our track here from a white-tailed deer. But yeah, let's look. If you are curious how I'm following the trail, it basically has like a cone shape at the end, which will show you where the next track should be. And if you actually get out your hunter mate, which on PC you can do with T, and with console I think it's R1 I think is the button that you have to press. I'm not sure what is on console, but either way you can kind of just follow that and you'll see a little dot move around in the bottom right, and you'll kind of know if you're going the right direction, because you'll most likely find more tracks. And we're actually going to go straight into the next topic, which is going to be how we know how good an animal is, or if we did a good shot on an animal. So let's go ahead and claim this. And up here we can see what class of animal the white-tailed deer is, which is it's a class 4 animal, and that all has to do with the type of ammo we want to be using for this gun. Then obviously you're going to be seeing the gender, the weight, the fur type, the tracking distance, the difficulty, or basically the animal level, what trophy type it has, and the trophy organs. Now we can see the trophy rating, which is going to be here, our harvest checks, our medal that the animal would score. Since this is a female and it does not have a trophy organ, it won't have any medal or trophy rating, so it actually technically doesn't matter if we messed up this animal, because we would only get a 0 out of her at any time point. Then down here we see the XP, the cash, and the session score. This doesn't really matter, this is only for leveling and gaining cash. Then over here we can see the weapon that we used, the ammo that we used, the distance the shot was, and the amount of weapon score we got, as well as seeing if where we hit her. So if we actually press the right mouse button, we can see where the bullet went and how much penetration we had. So we hit a little bit right and high of the heart, but still a good shot either way. On console, you want to be pressing either L2 or R2. It's one of those two buttons, and this will actually show up on there then. But what I want to go back to is these harvest checks. So since the game got updated about 7 or 8 months ago, we have these scoring system 2.0, and we basically need to pass these 4 harvest checks to get the proper trophy rating. This is kind of a bad example with a female, but what you always want to use is you want to use the proper ammo. So that all has to do with this class of the animal up here again. Then we want to have that we shot the animal with 2 shots or less. With shotguns, I do want to quickly mention it means how many times you pull the trigger. So obviously you're going to be hitting it with more shots, but it should only count that 1 slug counts as 1 shot, even though you hit it with multiple parts of the slug. So that's how that is going to be counted. Then intact trophy organs. So the trophy organs up here, it's gonna say it's mostly the skull. So you basically don't want to shoot the animal in the skull, even though a brain shot would be a vital organ hit. We actually don't want to do that because that will actually damage one of our harvest checks. And then lastly is that we have to hit a vital organ or more. So a single lung, a double lung, the middle neck, lower neck, upper neck, the brain, or the liver. The stomach, intestines, and the vertebrae up here actually does not count as a vital organ hit. I just want to make that clear. And obviously the heart is a vital organ as well, but so we basically want to hit the animal either here in this kind of in the liver right over here, in the heart, anywhere along this neck part over here, or in the brain up here. But now, having said that, that is basically the basics for scoring, and I think we might actually level up already after this first one. I'm not too sure. Let me actually have a look if we do, because I am pretty sure, or we need a little bit more. Let's have a look. So if you go on your codex as well, you can also see your hunter and your profile card, and you can actually see how much you're going to be needing for level 2, your skills that you unlocked, and your weapon score. So your weapon score, when we go to the store in a second, I will show you, is going to allow you to buy higher class weapons, ammo, and extra gear for hunting. So the higher this is, the better it is going to be, or the easier the hunting will be basically. So here we actually already have another need zone. So we had a feed zone down there, but we also have something called a resting zone. So white-tailed jackrabbits, they actually rest from 1 to 5 in the morning. So if you come here between 1 and 5 in the morning, you actually are guaranteed to find the white-tailed jackrabbits over here. I also have a full-on video explaining how need zones work, but that's the basics of it. Zones basically just show where animals are being, and there we actually see a rabbit. We don't have a proper weapon class weapon for it. If you want to find out what it is for your current weapon, just go on your ammo, and when you hover over it, it's actually going to say recommended classes. So the 243 soft point bullet and all of the bullets for the 243 are classes 2 to 6. And as you can see, if I can spot the rabbit again, he's over there, he's eating. It's actually weapon class 1, so we are not gonna get the full score out of this guy, but let's try and hit him. And we have to I think he's gonna run away, so we are not gonna be getting that rabbit. But if we were to shoot that, we wouldn't get as much cash or XP for that rabbit, and we would have to pay an additional fee if we wanted to technically taxidermize the animal. So taxidermizing is basically only important if you kill a rare animal or a diamond, which I will go over later on in the series. For now, it's not as important, as currently all we're trying to do is kill all the animals that we find on our way and unlocking the map a little bit as currently all we've seen is this little part right now. What I'm currently trying to do is getting up to this outlook tower just so that we can have a bit of a better look around the map and see where the outpost is, to which we can later on fast travel. So let me get up there and then I'll catch up with you guys once we're there. So here we are now at the top of the outlook tower, and the way we actually unlock this is by pressing E, square, or I think it's X on Xbox once you're at this kind of sign over here. So let's go ahead and do that, and you'll get a little bit of a cinematic animation that will just show kind of around the outlook tower. Sometimes it's different for every outlook tower, and it depends on which map you are. And we actually leveled up, but we can now actually see it unlocked all of this on the map. So all we want to do now is highlight where our outpost is, because that's where we want to go next, because that's the place where we can actually buy gear and always fast travel and actually reset the time. But let's first of all look. If we go to our main menu, you can see we have a skill point unlocked, and we can choose between Stalker and Ambusher. I actually have a whole guide talking about this. I personally want to first of all start off with Stalker because I want to get this upgraded. But if you want to spot animals through the scope, I would start with Ambusher, and I'm currently debating which route I want to go for this series. But for most beginners, I would recommend sticking with this. But since I want to get more of the spotting stuff unlocked first, we're actually going to start by unlocking the scent and Tinkerer. It really doesn't do much. It just allows you to get some of this, like something with sense. It's not really as helpful. If you want to use sense, definitely go for that and upgrade that all the way. But I'm personally not a big fan of the sense in this game because they only last for like 20 or 30 real-time seconds, so they don't really do too much, and collars work fine as well. So we're gonna go all over that a little bit later in the series. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself already, but let me run over to that outpost and maybe spot something on the way. So this is something I actually want to tell you guys. So if you're just running around through the fields and going to where you mark the location, just always look through your binoculars and see if you can actually spot something off in the distance, because right now every kill is basically going to guarantee you cash and a little bit of XP and weapon score, and that is really the main things that you're going to be needing at the beginning. Later on you can be a little bit more selective because you'll obviously know a little bit more about the map, know a little bit more about where animals are and different things like that. But let me quickly run over to the outpost and then show you guys all the important bits of that, and then we're probably going to end the first episode here. And here we are at the outpost. So what you want to do is you want to come here and once again press square, E, or X to claim the outpost, and you'll get another little animation. This is generally always the same one no matter what map you are on, but you'll get two icons. You'll first of all get that bed icon over there in the house usually, and a kind of cache or storage icon. And in this cache or the storage unit, you can go to the store, go to your own storage, go to your character and actually change outfits if you have those, and you can actually just change all of this if you want to do. And later on, if you want to buy backpacks, you can add backpacks to yourself. You'll also see the additional carrying capacity, increased visibility or increased noise if you add a backpack, and your current total carrying capacity. In the garage, you can choose between your ATVs. You can take these for free at any level, and let me just get one so you'll see in a second. Here you can see your storage, and what you'll notice, we'll actually have the 270 unlocked straight away. This is something I will add it here because it's a little bit powerful, bit more powerful than 243, but we won't be able to buy the ammo straight away. I personally will not be using the pistols in this guide or the shotguns just because I'm not a big pistols or shotgun fan, but if you want to use those, definitely go ahead, but this guide just might not be for you. Then below that you'll have the ammo, your sights, your lures, These are mostly all DLC, so we're not going to be covering those straight away. Then here's your equipment. So currently we have scent eliminator here. We'll talk about that in another episode. Then your binoculars, which currently we only have one of, but soon when we have enough cash, XP and rifle score, actually we don't need rifle score for that, we just need cash and XP, we can upgrade these as well. Then portable structures. At the beginning I would recommend taking a tent with you. Doesn't really matter which one, just kind of take one with you because they are free and they allow you to basically do anything an outpost can do, but you can place those wherever on the map. And there you guys can see our ATV is right over there, and you could just hop on that and drive around that, but we won't need that right now. Now going back to the store, we can buy stuff, all our equipment and stuff around the store. What we are currently mostly focused on is obviously we want to get better rifle ammo, and our current ammo, the 243 Safran bullet, is free, but we want to get the polymer chip bullet because we get an additional 10 penetration, which is really going to help us, but our expansion is going to be decreased, but it's not as important. But we currently can't buy it because we need 50 rifle score, which we just don't have yet. Now before we end the video, let me just quickly go over what we can do in the house here. We can just come to the bed here, press rest, and we can change the time. If we set the time back, we actually start a new in-game day. If we set forward, we don't change day, we just stay on the same one. But we actually don't want to change time right now, just because we actually don't need it right now. We haven't unlocked any zones yet, and we're not going to be going out to hunt any specific animals. We only really want to do this when it starts to get nighttime, or when we know that there are going to be no more animals drinking. We covered a lot of things today, so I hope this episode wasn't too long, and I hope you guys started to learn something. If you're still very in the basics, we're going to go in a lot more detail next episode. Probably going to go and do a little bit more hunting that episode today. I know we only killed one thing today, but it is what it is, and I don't want to make the episodes too long. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. So if you did, please press that like button, comment down below if you want me to cover anything at all, and if it's not in here, it will be in the other episode or in the other series playlist that I have on my channel, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video. And of course, if you're new around here, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon so you're always notified when I upload new videos. And with that, have a good day, bye bye, and peace.